So I had this science project where we had to model DNA, and so this was about at the point I'd already started, and this was at that point where I was like, "Oh crap, I haven't started recording. I should do that." And so what we've done here is we've taken those clothes, those clothes hangers that are like wire. We've taken that, we've cut off the hook at the top, straightened it out, and then we wrapped that around a broomstick, cut it in half, and then we've put it together to get this double helix structure. And we found this, or our helper found this, this like styrofoam thing to help use it as a stand. So we've got it stuck into the styrofoam thing, and then we also have the little toothpick at the top, super glued to the ends to help keep it together. So we're trying to put more toothpicks along every rotation of the thing, and we just kept on trying, and it was hard even with four hands to just get it to work out. We couldn't get the glue to work, and so it just didn't end up working out at all, that idea. So I just wanted to show you here that we've punctured the gumballs with some of the extra wire from the wire hanger, and there's one side is real smooth where it goes in, and then the other side where it pops out is real ugly, but we have a solution for that. I'll show you later. Each color gumball is corresponding to the nucleotide base that it's representing. Blue is thymine, red is adenine, green is guanine, yellow is cytosine, to name them. I originally wanted to use Mentos as the 5-carbon sugar molecule, and then Tic Tacs as the phosphate, but they just weren't the Mentos were too big, and so I had found these beads, and we were going to use those for the sugar molecule instead. It was also at this point when we got the second toothpick to work as well, and it was good, but underneath it, the wire was getting all bent, so we're gonna have to cut it there, and it's gonna be half as big as it is now. Here we just finished impaling the rest of the gumballs and chowing down on the Mentos because we weren't going to use them for the thing. So we decided, oh man, Mentos are so good, we might as well just eat them, And I also, there was this when the hot glue gun, it was dripping a bit. Somehow it made this thing where it dripped onto the paper, and then it made a little bit of a little strand of hot glue that it was all dried up, and then something pooled on top of that, which doesn't make sense to me. Like I mentioned before, each gumball has a real smooth side where the wire went in, and a pretty ugly and cracked side where the wire came out of the gumball. And so my solution was just, when they're on the toothpick, you put one on, and then you have the ugly side towards the middle, and then you just put the other one's ugly side where they're kind of together, so the ugly side's in the inside, kind of out of view. It's really hard to see. So I guess that was my entire solution. Wasn't too big of a problem. Here we just really weren't getting anywhere. We punctured some more gumballs, we ate some more Mentos, my mom made some popcorn. And we started, at some point in the middle of this, we started adding gumballs onto the toothpicks, which was a big hassle because we had to remove toothpicks that we'd glued on without the gumballs. And yeah, so here's a time lapse, I guess. At times 50 speed, which is going to be a nightmare to upload. So here we have the small one still. We've got the center rung with the gumballs on it, and then we've got 3 under it. The only problem is that we've got the toothpick at the end, and there's empty space there, but it's not enough space for gumballs. So we're going to take that bottom toothpick off and then put gumballs there, and then one more, so 2 more at the bottom after we take off that toothpick. And then we'll just fill the top with gumballs, take off the top one, the top toothpick, and then put a new one there with gumballs on it. So that's the plan. In the middle of just working on it the whole time, like the camera fell over at some point, and it took me way longer than it should have to notice. I actually only noticed once we'd completely finished with all the nucleotide bases with all the gumballs, and I was like, you can hear me being baffled.
It fell over? What?
Anyway, I'd forgotten to show the camera when we'd finished the entire thing with all the gumballs. And so we'd already started gluing Tic Tacs on, and the Tic Tacs were going to be the new sugar, the 5-carbon sugar molecules, or the deoxyribose. So we'd already started attaching them on the outside to where the nucleic acids are attached. So yeah, and this part was like pretty much it. It was finished on the camera, and then it was time to just glue on the Tic Tacs. And then we were using black eyed peas for the what are they called? Oh, for the phosphate. So we were using those since they're small. They're like bland colored, and that's just kind of how I imagined phosphate. It's vital to DNA, but it's not super visually appetizing, I guess. So the black eyed peas just weren't the most eye-catching thing, so I thought they were perfect for the phosphate. And that was it. We'd finished the construction of the actual double helix like shape and the actual DNA structure. We'd gotten every part of it. We had the sugar phosphate backbone and the nucleotide bases, so it was on to the next step. So I made this stand for the model, and we were sticking into that styrofoam, and I was taking pictures of it, and that whiteboard that I was using as the background for the pictures, it fell on top of it and then like pushed it down, and so the wire just got all loose and it's not working. You can actually see here the groove where the wire was. The other wire is fine, but we'll glue it just in case. So I'm gonna go warm up the hot glue gun, and we're going to go glue it back in place. So I finished gluing them, and you can see I did a pretty terrible glue job. There's like hot glue gun strands all over the place. And I also glued the other one a bit just in case. You can tell it's pretty sturdy, like when I push on it. I'm not pushing on it super hard, but when I push on it pretty hard that it would usually move, it's all good. I also made the key. I forgot to do that on camera. And like you can see that sugar phosphate background and nucleotide bases, they're pretty close, so they look like one big paragraph word thing. So I'll have to like separate those with a pencil line or something. And you can see I've hot glued the different parts with the names next to them just to clarify what exactly they are. So yeah, back to the lab, as I like to call it. So you can see here that when it fell over the board, it pushed the wires where the holes were and it stretched them all out. But that's easy enough to solve. We'll just have to stick it in the holes. We'll just have to make new holes right in front of it, and it should stand perfectly fine. Anyways, here are the pictures I got. I got one from every angle, and the whole idea is that I can crop out the outside and just get the DNA model with the white background. But I actually just realized that I don't need these for the science project. I need like a picture of the entire project. So these are pretty much useless, except they're pretty to look at. All right, now that we've got everything done related to modeling the double helix DNA structure part, we need to get to the next step. But first, breakfast. Alright, so it's currently 9 a.m. and I need to have this done by the end of block 3, which I think is actually 2. So it's currently 9 a.m. and I need to get this done by 2, while also having time to work from 9 to 10, which is when school starts at 10, and then I can work from 12 to 1 for lunch, during lunch, and then I can also do it from 1 to 2, which is science, and we're getting that class to just work and finish it. So, let's get started. At this point, we're done with the nucleotides and the sugar phosphate backbone, and it's time to work on the gene, chromosome, and nucleus. Because I put a ton of stuff onto the DNA, I wanted it to be a ton of work. I wanted it to be like the star, or not really the star, but basically what I'm trying to say is I don't have enough energy or materials to go as far as I did with the DNA with the other stuff. So I cut off some tiny parts of a pipe cleaner, and then I just made them into like the X shape of a chromosome. I made them into 2 U's, and then put like the curvy parts of the U's together. And I didn't think a glue stick or like Elmer's glue would work, the liquid kind. So I was like, okay, well the only kind we have that would probably work is super glue. Oh boy, was that a bad idea. You can just see the point where I've realized, oh crap, I've made a huge mistake. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just get it over with before I, glue the entire house together. And I glued it together, but I also glued my hands to the pipe cleaner, and I also glued my other hand to the super glue container. Oh boy, was it a mess. It actually got to the point where I was just like, alright, I'm gonna like rip my fingers off of this super glue thing and we're throwing it away because no one can ever touch that again without spawning some demon that just glues everything together. Like, yes, yeah.
How do you... is there like does water make it go... Ow, this hurts. What do you do about this? This doesn't help at all. I would ask for help, but this is actually so embarrassing. Like, ew. Oh, look at that. Don't worry, that's just the glue. This isn't my, like, skin. I hope. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, gosh. That is disgusting. Oh, this hurts because it's pulling my nail up. It's pulling my skin down, but I feel like it's pulling my nail up. Ow. Ow. Get out of here. Into the trash. Is it in there? Okay, nice. Nobody ever wants that. I feel like I've discovered some forbidden, like, object, like Jumanji or something. And I somehow narrowly escaped. Ew. And it's all like crisp and stuff. It feels like icing and it looks like icing and it probably does not taste like icing. Ew, it's on my foot too. Ugh, this is a mess. It's weird how with this hand it's like there's glue everywhere, all over it. But it's all like clear. But then this is like a bunch of residue. Can you hear like the crinkling? Where's the speaker? Well, at least we got this done, and there's a bit of super glue on the... Oh, frick. There was some on here, so I tried to wipe it off, but I didn't realize it was still wet. Well, time to never touch anything with that hand for like ever. I guess we'll have to wait for it to come off in time, if that even happens. The super glue come off in time. So now that the chromosome's done, we're gonna be using the like a kiwi as like the nucleus, because it's pretty, you know, it looks like a key or a cell. Like the middle is the nucleus, and then those seeds can be like the chromosomes inside of it. I know. I put like zero brick into that. I didn't even cut it in half. That was my dad. But I'm out of ideas now. I've got nowhere to go at this point. So for the gene, I decided I would just get 2 of each color gumball or each nucleotide base, and I would make just a string of like nucleotide pairs and bases, and then that would be the gene. I'd glue it to the little styrofoam thing that the DNA model is standing on. I've decided that we're gonna use that as like the stand. So we're gonna have like the DNA thing, and then under it we're gonna have like the gene, the chromosome, and then the nucleus. Looks like we'll just be using these like this. Gotta be careful though. That's all we need. Uh-oh. We'll use this pencil, and we'll do this. Now that I think about it, I probably should have added the backbone as well, because the gene is like that. With the backbone, it's not just the nucleotide bases. It's too late for that now, because I'm recording this after this whole dilemma. Like, for past Shiloh, it's like, I don't know, it's probably like around 9:45 in there, and it's like 4:45 p.m. for me, so it's been a long day. Hopefully this stuff gets invisible, because I put way too much on. You can tell that gluing things really isn't my strong suit. I don't think the glue is doing anything, but I guess it'll just hold the thing in place for a little bit. As long as I'm not flinging this around, it should be fine. I'm just gonna leave the kiwi right here. I'm not gluing that, because I actually want to eat this later. I only need it for a picture, right? What time is it? Alright, 9:42, or feels like it's been like way more than less than an hour. It feels like it's been like 2 hours. You know what? Here's how I'm gonna get this super glue off the table. Put it on my hands. So, this is pretty much the whole thing finished. We've got all the parts that I need to model, and now it's just time to make the video, which I'll show in just a few seconds, because I'm actually, so our grading system is in 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. 4 being like A, and then 3 is still a good grade. I mean, it would technically classify as like a C if you were gonna like do all the division for that in math, but it's not really treated like a C would be. And so to get a 3, you need to do this entire model. Not as much as I did. You could literally just put peanuts on the shape of DNA on the table, and then put some rubber bands as the cell, and that would work. But to get a 4, you need to make the model and do the video, so I'm going to start doing that. So to clarify the warped timeline that I don't even understand right now is that, well, from what I'm understanding, what you're seeing right now is I went to class earlier, or like when I finished that project, I had to go to class. And then this is me editing the video during lunch. So yeah, insert next update. Alright, so it's 1 o'clock and it's time to check in to class. I've got a bunch of it done so far. It'll be tight though, like I'm not sure if I'll be able to get the whole thing edited out in just the next hour before class ends. We'll have to see though. But yeah, I'm gonna go check into the class and then get back to editing. Alright, yes. I'll let you know if I get through in one piece.
This is why I really like my science teacher. She's super nice about it. She was totally cool with me going a little bit past the class to come and editing the video. She was like, as long as you get it done by the end of the day. And she was like, oh yeah, you put so much work into your model and stuff. Oh, it's totally cool if you go a little bit past the class time. So, that's great. By the end of this hour, I'll have to go to my next class, so I might not get it completely done. If that does end up happening, that I don't get it done by the beginning of next class, I'll just, I don't know, I'll probably say something about it, and then after school, when I have time to work on it, I'll start the video again, the time lapse. So yeah, back to work. So there's a lot of these like time lapses, so I was thinking like maybe I should just talk while you guys watch these. Like, I don't know. Yeah, but I guess you can see that the audio thing wasn't working, and I look at the audio waves to decide when to cut the recording, so they weren't loading, so I just decided to watch some YouTube while I waited for it to load. Alright, so it's 1:57, time to move on to the next class. I'll be back for when the those birds? No, it's just my window being dirty. I'll be back when school ends. So in about an hour and a half. All right, yeah. Hey, me again. So I thought that since it's kind of boring to watch these time lapses, well, it's oddly satisfying for me to watch time lapse, but I guess I should sort of talk. I've lived in 5 countries. I move around like a lot, and like I spent like 0. Oh no, it's cutting. I'm tired. All right, guys, we're on the final stretch. Just gotta finish editing this, take the files on the iPad that I'm recording on right now, put them on there, edit those onto the video, and then we're done. Woo! Time lapse. So I grabbed some popcorn and took a bit of a YouTube break. Okay, a big one. But now I'm back to editing. Okay, so what was I saying before? I've lived in 5 countries, and I was born in the States, but I spent like a minuscule part of my life in the States. I've lived in 5 countries, so the States, Thailand, Panama, Venezuela, and Colombia. And boy, is this video getting long, and just imagine how long it took to actually make the thing. It took me like 2 days, okay, well, not really, it took me like a day to make the video. Alright, so I've finished doing the editing, and now it's time to put the time-lapse footage in, which it's a weird inception thing, because for me, I'm talking to you during the editing, and then you're in the video, you're watching the video, but you're also watching me edit the video that you're watching, and it's kind of like a little loop. That's confusing. But yeah, this should be technically the end of the video, right? Or no, I'm just probably gonna talk about something about how I like it a lot, the model, and how I didn't see this as a test. I saw it as an opportunity to be a better person and make a cool model and try new things, or something cheesy like that. So, I'm signing off. Insert cheesy saying here. Yeah, what he said.